And then moving on to our pre-market movers and levels, a bit thin really. In terms of pre-market movers, although there's been some news just before we came on air which probably would have trumped this. But first of all, Energy 21, which is ticker EXXI in the US, up 3.5% pre-market on news that the company had reached an agreement with the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management. This is one of the US regulators that make sure that oil companies are exploring off the Gulf Coast and elsewhere are well funded and have sufficient insurance in place in case anything goes horribly wrong. And then Green Dot Corporation, perhaps one that's not familiar to many of our European viewers, but GDOT is the ticker there, $15.31, up 31.6%. Green Dot is a bank. It's a provider of prepaid and store credit cards, and it's basically its major contract with the US retailing giant Walmart was renewed yesterday, and on the back of that the company announced a $150 million buyback. So the market likes what it hears there, and as I say, they could up 31% pre-market. And in terms of levels to watch today, equity markets in Europe, obviously, as we've seen, a better again. In terms of the FTSE, we're now looking at 67.88 as our downside level, plays 68.70 to the upside. The DAX, sharply better again this morning, so now 11,500 is our downside target, and I've gone with 11,606 as a new high.
Yesterday, not a fluke. I mean, but they're built on these gains.
Oh yeah,
it's really quite.
It's another solid day of gains today. Is actually quite right. And in terms of the S&P, the US markets haven't really responded as well as the European ones. Nonetheless, they're a bit better again. So S&P now 2110, our downside level, plays 2130 to the upside. And for the Dow, we've gone with 18,010 and 18,120 as the levels to watch. But as I suspect the bias will be to the upside again today. And in currency land, Euro's weakened slightly against the dollar. So 112.00 now is the downside level to watch versus 112.52 on the upside. Slight easing in Aussie US dollar, and it's like tightening here as well. So we go with 76.93 as our downside level and 77.45 on the upside. Dollar yen weakened slightly, so it's the rate's edging up, but it's nothing to get too excited about. But nonetheless, 123.25 now our downside level, and I've gone with 124.00 for the upside. And cable hanging in there, 157.46. Plays 158.05 to the upside.
So the dollar back in business really over the last 24 hours.
Yes, certainly against the euro, it's been the dominant currency. Of course, that could all change on news from Greece in either direction.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll see how that plays out. Intriguing, but I suppose the dollar strength story should be the easiest one in the market, really, with interest rates and everything else. But things don't always work out like that.
No, they don't.
Darren Sinden, a market commentator at Admiral Markets, thanks very much for the Wall Street Crossover show today. We'll be back 1 o'clock tomorrow.